Discord. All right, we're back. Another episode, 158, I believe, the Walkons podcast. Here we are. Want to do a couple bookkeeping things, if you will, before we get into the action. Oh, and let me tell you, and Kevin and Drake will echo this, but we're not gonna let that cat out the bag. But if we wanted this to be, and maybe you guys will find out in a few weeks, this could have some action. I mean, this podcast.
This would be the 4th of July podcast.
Yeah, the 4th of July the 4th of July might be coming. Bookkeeping. I recently, if you are a patron of ours, which by the way, thank you so much for supporting us on the Patreon. If you are a patron, True Walk-On Army. I recently updated those some of those perks, and I am cooking up. I'm brewing up in the cauldron, the Halloween cauldron, if you will, for this week. A couple new perks for the top tier, the $12 a month tier. I think I have a couple of good ideas, and those will be rolled out in the new year. But I updated some of the lower tier stuff and added perks for everybody. One of those happens to be that I'm gonna give a little shout out to the new patrons anytime we get a new one. So in the last 2 weeks, we've had about 8 new patrons: Jason, Sam, John Miller. First of all, John Miller.
Shout out John Miller.
Yeah, John Miller. Obviously a ton of you guys listen to him in the Iowa blog content world. He subscribed to our stuff. I subscribe to his stuff. He's obviously the god of Iowa podcasting, and I've developed a real good relationship with him, actually, through DMs and kind of taking on his advice and his mentorship through this. So, John, thanks for joining the Walk-On Army, baby. Paige, Mike, Paul, Aaron, and Alex. Thank you guys for putting on the uniform and going to war with your boys. All right. Now that that's done, one last piece of business. As you guys saw on Twitter, we are dropping the Washed Up Walk-Ons holiday merch on Friday. Tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Thursday when the podcast comes out. Very excited, boys. We haven't dropped merch in a while. We've been telling the people.
It's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
I believe the last time we dropped merch was March. I think
it was the Iowa America hero shirt, right?
It was like Iowa America, maybe like in February. So we've just totally been boning all of our fans with. We've been telling them merch is coming every 2 weeks for like the last 8 months, and so it's finally here. Friday, October 30th, our new merch drops. Couple really nice items. The one I'm most excited about is a tri-blend short sleeve hoodie. Real thin, like kind of workout.
We're getting the Belichick hoodies?
We're getting the Belichick hoodies, baby.
I love me a good Belichick hoodie.
And they're high quality. Hawks by a million hoodies. And obviously the big ticket item, the one Kevin I know is excited about, the 4 foot by 6 foot Hawks by a million flag. Thank you, Dale, for doing one good thing in your life and approving us on the HBAM flag. I've already gotten a ton of comments, DMs about it. The flag is going to fly off the shelf. I'm excited to see Hawks by a million flying high over not just the Ward tailgate, but all over Iowa City once this COVID bullshit is done.
That's going to be a really cool thing to see those at tailgates.
That's going to be insane, right? Oh,
And listen,
man.
folks, the only thing that you're allowed to take Old Glory down just throughout the middle of the year for is if you're putting a Hawks by a million flag up on the flagpole.
I'm
Or
going
if
to
you
have
just want to do like USA, then Hawks by a million, that's acceptable too.
You can put both up. Yeah. Gonna have to get my neighbor a new flag. He is a Jets fan and he flies that flag all the time.
You know what? Honestly, respect. If you can fly that flag with pride, even though you have the worst franchise in the NFL.
True fandom. And hey, guess what? He can be happy this week because son of a bitch, guess what, guys? The Jets finally beat the spread, those sons of bitches. All right. Let's talk about our picks from last week as far as the NFL goes. Kevin, you were 2 for 2 on your picks.
Does that mean like, what was I in college now?
You were 2 for 2 in college.
2 for 2? 2 for 2? Does that mean 4 for 4? Call me the Wendy's Baconator, baby, because I'm 4 for 4.
Kevin is the pick 4 for 4 deal. Get it while it's hot. That brings Kevin's betting.
Kevin, that was the corniest joke of all time.
No, that was fire. Catch the Kevin. You know what? It's not the Travis Scott meal. You fly up to that Wendy's. You fly up to that Wendy's window and you say, "Hey, Kevin Ward sent me," and they give you the 4 for 4, baby. That brings your record on the season, Kevin, to positive. You are now 11-9.
Yeah, we're back. We're back in the game, baby.
Drake,
it's now Ward's winners again.
What?
It's now Ward's winners again.
It's Ward's winners again. The title stays true. Drake, you are 9-7. 9-7.
Nice.
That's not bad. We're on the winning side. If you can be better than 50%,
And listen, man, if I wouldn't have had that 0-3 week where the Ravens just absolutely fell apart on us, it would have been a little different. But that's right.
You'd be sitting way pretty. Your boy, and I talked about this. I said it last year. I hadn't even made a sports bet until 2020. I'm not a betting guy, and the record reflects that. I'm 7-13. All right, we're sitting right about 35%. So don't tail me. Don't tail me. All right,
fade
but I'm going to keep making.
Man. I've been telling everybody to fade Kluve since like 2013.
That is true.
What was your record this last week, Kluve?
I don't remember, but I'll pull it up right now just because I have the quick access. So my picks this past week were I had Penn State -6.5. I had Iowa versus Purdue over 53. I had Bills -13. And I had Packers -3.5 which crushed. That one was like huge. So at least I felt a little bit good. I was 25%. So I'm not good. Listen to Kevin and Drake. Don't listen to me. I am, however, going to continue making picks. We will get to that at the end of this podcast. Let's get into
Drake. How was your week?
I was 2-1.
Drake didn't do bad. Yeah.
Respectable.
Yeah. Drake had
who was my non-cover? It was an embarrassing one. It was one that really pissed me off. Oh, the Eagles. The Eagles couldn't cover the Jets.
A week ago tonight.
We just talked about how
Giants, not Jets.
A week ago tomorrow. Or was it the Giants? Whoever. It was a New York team. Yeah. And now it's fade the Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this brings us to probably the topic of the night. Obviously, this is the Northwestern preview episode. And there's some drama happening in the Big Ten today as we kind of prepared for this. I also took questions. We'll take a couple of those. I think we'll have a few interesting answers. But the main question on the Twitter was, well, let's talk about the situation first. Let me tell you what happened, boys. Graham Mertz, I believe his name is, the Wisconsin quarterback.
I saw this on Pat McAfee. He had the game of his life in game 1, and then he turns around and gets the vid, man.
And you know why he got the vid?
Because he went to Summit and he was pouring bottles on chicks.
Yeah.
Because he just had the game of his life, like any college kid should do. Mm-hmm. And they slapped him with a 3-week banishment.
Yep.
They gave him a 3-week COVID.
He got sent to the COVID gulag.
All because he has a runny nose. He got a 3-week banishment for a sore throat, dude.
So wait, is that actually what happened? He went out to the bars after the game?
I don't know. This allegedly. I have a feeling this is what happened in my head. Like Drake said, this kid comes out, sets a bunch of quarterback records, like 5 touchdowns. I think his completion percentage was like 95% or something stupid.
Yeah, I mean, he has the potential to be the best Wisconsin quarterback since Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they were playing Muscatine, I think. And he
and
said,
by the way, we were talking a bunch of junk, but I was talking a bunch of junk to Anger because Muscatine was playing Bettendorf in the playoffs, and Bettendorf went ahead and put 28-0 on us.
I saw that hurts.
Apologies, Anger, Muscatine, embarrassing.
Yeah. So Graham Mertz goes out, sets all these records, and I know exactly what happened, boys. He was feeling himself. He's like, oh, we're going to the bars. We're getting lit. And whatever summit equivalent is in Madison, Wisconsin, that's where they headed. And you know they had bottles. All right. And there was some ratchety ass chicks there too. And they all had the COVID.
And watch the truth be that he got it because he gave his mom a big hug after the game, and she just happened to have it.
And she was like carrying it. Yeah.
Really, all the kid did was go back and have a nice meal and get a great night's sleep.
Yeah.
And we're just smashing him because we said that he was out partying his ass off like an asshole.
Yeah. Who knows the actual way it happened? But what ensued was 10 or like 12% of Wisconsin's team and staff and organization now has COVID, including head coach Paul Christ, who, I mean,
including a third string quarterback too, I believe.
Including the third string quarterback. They have no quarterbacks. Kevin, you could go play quarterback for them right now.
Really? Is that like an open offer?
I believe so. With the free year, I think they're calling anybody at this point.
All right, cool. Well, fade whoever Wisconsin's playing. I'll make sure we don't cover the spread. Yeah.
Well, and that's where it gets interesting is lined up on Nebraska's schedule this week, or on Wisconsin's schedule this week, is the Cornhuskers. Nebraska fans, all of Lincoln is pissed because what this means.
Honestly, is, did you guys think you were going to win this game?
Well, here's the thing. Yes, they do. They scored 14 against Justin Fields and the Buckeyes and thought, damn, we're all right, bro. and this. So what happened was today, Wednesday, Barry Alvarez and the Wisconsin's athletic department shut it down. They said, we're not playing. We're going into a 7-day, no contact, no activity period. They won't even meet. They won't see each other. I'm sure they'll do Zoom shit, but they cannot come to the facility. There's no meetings, no practice, no nothing. Obviously, in the next 7 days is a game against Nebraska. So they essentially are forfeiting their game versus Nebraska, but it doesn't count as a loss. And this is kind of the uproar.
Right. It's like the Big Ten's rules. It's like it's a no contest or something like that.
Right. It's not the Big Ten shutting the game down. It's Wisconsin trying to be proactive, which is respectful. They're trying to salvage their season. But now Nebraska is without an opponent, which leaves Nebraska, no fault of their own, with 7 games on the schedule. I believe that I saw that you have to have, 6 games to be eligible for the conference championship. So obviously Wisconsin, the front runner in the West for the past, what seems like 200 years, they're at jeopardy because who knows if they've got that many COVID. Now, like you said, I don't know what this does for Wisconsin because without their quarterback, which first of all, let's talk about the rule. 21 days. Drake said it. He got hit with the freaking, they put him.
That's the ban hammer, dude.
Yeah.
They gave him the ban hammer.
And they're already, so is this already their second string quarterback?
Yeah. Jack Cohn was the returning guy, and he, something with his foot. He was out indefinitely.
Right.
I think he's going to be out indefinitely the rest of his career because this Mertz kid's pretty damn good.
Yeah. So Mertz comes in. He's technically second string now.
Kevin just nonchalant shits on this kid.
Yeah. Jack Cohn, you might as well just quit and do really well in your business classes because your career's over, bud. Follow what's his face down to Florida State. What was his name? Lefty.
I remember that guy. Yeah, that guy
he just
sucked.
graduated. I mean, we played against him. I'm pretty sure. Fucking, what was his name? I don't know. Anyway, Wisconsin's in serious jeopardy. Now they have only 7 games on the schedule. Even if they do come back, Mertz is in lockdown quarantine hazmat suit for 21 days. That's the Big Ten's rule, which there's a whole bunch of discrepancy on that. Is why is our rule different than the SEC rules? Why does this kid have to be out? Yada yada.
Yeah.
Even if he does come back, can Wisconsin win? I mean, they don't have a Jonathan Taylor. Running back's probably okay. He's good. I'm sure he's at Wisconsin, but he's not Jonathan Taylor. And if they don't have a quarterback, I mean, you got to be able to. I mean, I don't know. This leaves the West wide open, boys, wide open, which makes me wish that the Hawks started just a little better.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that myself. One, does Wisconsin even get to play the following week?
Right. Yeah.
2, I mean, even after that next week, they'd still be without their top 2 options at quarterback.
They're down to a 4-star QB.
Wisconsin might effectively have just been eliminated from the West.
Exactly. Which just leaves everybody in chaos.
Wide open, right? Exactly.
So it
might just be that the team that doesn't get shut down from COVID is the honorary representative of the West in the Big Ten title.
Right. Now, here was another issue. I saw some article written by maybe a Purdue guy or one of the writers for the Big Ten around the league for some organization. He said, now what happens if Wisconsin is done? They shut down the next 2 weeks. They don't play Nebraska. I believe they don't play I believe they play Purdue the following week. So they don't play Nebraska or Purdue. They win out. So they go 6-0, still eligible for the Big Ten championship. They end up not playing Purdue, but say Purdue goes 6-1. Who does the Big Ten championship take now? Wisconsin played one less game, didn't play head to head against Purdue, and it's 6-1 versus 6-0, and now this causes so much controversy, right? So
I would just, I mean, be more fair to give it to Purdue, I think, but
I feel it. Yeah,
you'd think, yeah.
It's just one more wrinkle in this unprecedented year of shit, right? So who knows? Let's answer a few questions rolling into this week. Kevin, this one is, well, I guess not necessarily. This one's kind of for all of us. Oh, well, let's start with this. Drake, what is your opinion of Northwestern's coach? I think someone might have it fucked up. Just because we call him Fat Titch Gerald doesn't mean we don't respect him. Like, he actually is a good...
In reality, I have a lot of respect for him because he's found a way to take what I would equate to a less talented team than what we had.
For sure.
And what I would also have equated to a less tough team than we had and found a way to beat us multiple times. So I actually have a lot of respect for the guy. He does have some fat old titties, but that's neither here nor there.
How perfect is Fat Fitzgerald? I mean, Fat Titch-Gerald. I mean, it's just one and the same. How could it be that perfect? Are we the only ones to ever come up with that? Drake, I think you came up with it.
No, I did not. I do not take credit for that.
I think Kevin.
I actually heard it first from my brother. So
okay.
I can't take credit.
So someone else did come up with this. Okay. Mm-hmm. That swings us into the next question. Drake, you mentioned it. They found a way to beat us often as of late. Iowa has led Northwestern at half in the last 4 meetings, but Iowa has only come out on top 1 out of 4. What is the best explanation on why this has happened versus Northwestern? KF is usually good at holding halftime leads.
Every single time they've played a cleaner game than we have.
Yeah, and I bet you could look back at all those halftime leads and they're all single possession games. So,
yeah.
I mean, you look at a single possession halftime lead, it almost means nothing. You got to play a whole nother game in the second half.
Yeah.
Basically starting off 0-0.
I'll throw my
hand up. And the game
up.
In the second half is always way harder.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, you have the defenses and offenses have chances to make their adjustments. You're playing the game within the game. Plus, everyone just gets fucking tired. Of course, the second half's tougher.
You're tired, and the second opponent comes in. You're playing against the clock sometimes. It's hard to play against the clock. on both sides, because we've seen many times where teams get a lead and they try to run out the clock. Or they trying to run the ball, establish a running game in the second half, bites them in the ass sometimes because for one reason or the other. Now, I'll throw my hand up on one of those Northwestern losses. If I was to ever take actual ownership of like the most I ever contributed to a loss, it would be against Northwestern.
I still won't let you own it, dude. I still won't let you take full credit, full blame for this.
Not full blame, but definitely partial blame, because I could have single-handedly.
Listen, dude.
Which game are you talking about here?
When they returned that punt to like the 3-yard line and we didn't have one of our gunners on the field, and the gunner screwed up, the coach didn't notice, Kluver didn't stop the play, I didn't count everybody, so there's 4 fuck ups right there. So Kluver can only count 25% on that.
So I'll take 25% of this single play, but this single play,
so for the folks, this is the 2016 game.
This swung the game. It gave them momentum, heavy momentum. We ran out. We were punting off our own
like 10-yard line or
15 or 10.
And didn't we let some tiny little white kid return 2 punts on us?
Yeah, sure did. So basically what happened is,
that's the most embarrassing part.
Yeah, as the long snapper, you run out, you don't have many jobs. It's basically just get the ball back to the hip. But one of the jobs is, along with the up back, which happened to be Drake, so, kill us both, our bad. We're supposed to kind of make sure that everyone's in the right spot and that everybody's on the field. I went through the motions in that part of it, and so did Drake and the coaches as well, and Riley McCarron, who was supposed to be our gunner.
No, it wasn't. So Riley was a starting gunner, but they took him out because he was like playing a lot on offense or something like that. And somehow, some way, the backup gunner never got told.
Well, we never got the right gunner on the field, and that, if you watch the end zone view of this punt, it just left an absolute alley up the far side of the field, the opponent's side of the field in Kinnick. They took it all the way back to the 3. They scored like 2 plays later, and it really killed the vibe, and they ended up beating us in that game. Anyway, what year will they finally demolish Ryan Field? Great question. Really good question. Once they realize that it's no better than a high school field, which is incredible that they haven't realized that yet.
What I want to know is when they're finally going to cut the grass over there, because that grass is hella long.
Yeah.
Is that not a private school?
It is.
Yeah.
So it's a private school that's getting funded by the Big Ten also, and they can't build a better stadium than that.
They can't seem to find a lawn
care
service.
They can't fill up the goddamn lawnmower with gasoline.
Yeah, what's it? They gotta hit up True Green lawn service down the road. Just come and clip the grass. Like, Pat, hey,
fucking get Bo Bauer out there on his mower.
Yeah, get Bo Bauer, Josie Jewell, and Travis Perry's lawn service. Lawn and RV park, trailer park service to come out to frickin' where are they even? Where is Northwestern? What city?
Evansville.
Where? Oh, Evansville. And just cut the grass. Yeah, it's sad. I'm pretty sure one year they sat our fans on the other side of the field so that it looked like or something.
Yeah, so I think it was, which year was it? It was
16
maybe
again?
2015 or 16.
No.
They switched up the who sits on what side because the TV cameras looked away at the opponent side, and it was just all opponent's colors in the stands. So they switched it up. Yeah. And I know for a fact that the Northwestern fans were very unhappy about this.
Yeah. It's pretty funny, to be honest. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is one that I teased a couple episodes ago, and we never told the story because I think Drake wasn't there the day that we teased it. Real quickly, I mean, not real quickly, but in time, Drake, would you like to tell the story about the time that you almost killed Calusi on the field?
Was it against Michigan?
It was, against Michigan. Okay.
Yeah, after the front flip.
Correct. So the backstory behind this was a couple weeks ago, some kid missed like a game winner or something to tie the game. And like one of the other players, like a DB or a linebacker, came up to him as he was visibly pissed off, like kind of, I think he slammed his helmet down on the bench, and another one of the players rolled up and was like bitching him out for missing the field goal. And then he got pissed and turned on the guy and like shoved him, like the two teammates fighting as the game ends and they're like about to shake hands. And I was like, wow, this looks oddly similar to when Drake almost murdered Calusi during the Michigan game.
You said that on Twitter?
I said it on Twitter. Yeah. And it caused a stir. It caused a stir, and many people wanted to know what happened. Several people said that they were front 5-10 rows for the show, but didn't know exactly what was going on. So maybe just a little bit of elaboration on the thought process and that situation.
Okay, so first of all, I want to tell you just how high the tensions and emotions were running in that particular game.
Quite high.
And the fans in the stadium can understand. You guys had to have felt it too. Every single yard mattered. We had to be perfect if we were going to beat that team on that day. Because if you stuck our rosters side by side, we had a laughable disadvantage. Like the discrepancy was absolutely laughable between the star quality of teams.
Shout out.
We're out there on
Heart
punt,
don't have stars.
and Heart don't have stars, man. And this is the true story. Well, not this story in particular, but that game is the
Michigan
story
is the story of Heart don't have stars.
Yeah. And so obviously we want our punt unit to be perfect because we take a lot of pride in it. The team emphasizes taking a lot of pride in it. And everybody, we expect everybody to do their job perfectly on every play.
The punt unit, very special to this podcast in particular, actually. I mean,
yeah.
We made up 30% of it.
Yeah. You know, that was kind of one of our things. We took a lot of pride in that. And so Kluve didn't have the best snap on that play.
Bad snap. Top 5 bad snap of my career.
And, you know, he takes partial credit for this. And I've let him know just how shitty of a job he did on that play on multiple occasions. So it's not like he didn't get it either. But the thing about it is Ron saved the snap. So he started off by saving the play, made the catch. Okay, perfect. Everything's good. Just kick the football and the play's good. If we hit a 30-yard punt, so be it. It wouldn't cost us the game. But instead he panics and decides he's Odell Beckham Jr. in the open field and does a cutback. And so after the play ended, I obviously was really confused and angry. And I looked up at the board and watched the replay and watched how it happened from 2 angles. And it just, I have a short fuse sometimes, and it lit the fuse when they showed the replay. And by the time I got over to the sideline, the bomb had already gone off.
Now, luckily for us, got a little targeting call.
Yeah, now this worked out. This worked out for us because after Ron decided he was going to teach a 3-year-old gymnastics class, and he did his tumble forward
without getting touched.
Without being touched. He tripped on the same thing that got me on the pull cat. One of those guys in the lineup of star
he
comparison.
Was really good too. I don't remember who it was. It was one of their best D linemen.
It was Devin Bush. It was the freshman Devin Bush.
And he was big.
Oh my God. Damn.
He was big. He was fast. He was better than us at everything athletic that you could find. He decided to spear on Calusi. And we got a penalty out of it. But Drake came off.
And let me be real. I didn't see any part of that.
I didn't
on
either.
The board. Like all I was watching on the board was the cutback after I saw how clearly, because I knew the front side was open, dude. I was playing on the front side of that
play. You
play.
thought that he definitely had other options.
There was other options, man. He saved you from putting a snap over his head, and he had other options.
Yep. And then you came off, and as he sat down on the bench, do you remember what you told him? Was it?
Do you remember what I told him?
I thought,
because no, I don't, and I'm not gonna guess.
I think it was something along the lines of, like murder. I think it was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, if you don't pull your head out of your ass, I'm gonna fucking kill you, or something like that.
Can we not confirm or deny whether
no,
that
that's
was said?
that's definitely
like a murder threat.
That's definitely alleged, and I'm pretty sure Ron Cluzzi is still alive. I'm pretty sure. If he's not, you are screwed.
They're coming to my doorstep immediately. I'm the only suspect.
I do know that there's film of him punting the rest of that season. So if you did kill him, it was a delay, which may make it worse because then it was premeditated. And you're going to prison. But yeah, so essentially Drake wasn't happy with Ron's decision, and he let him hear about it. And KF had to pull Drake off of Ron.
Hey, but think about it though. That story right there makes our Kirk's dogs story even better, because who other than the master can pull an attack dog
to
off
rein in
of?
to rein
you know
in
what
the
I'm
beast.
saying?
Yeah,
he called off the attack dog.
He did. He's the only guy that can do it. I think I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that Wallace walked in the building the next day and he goes, Kloof, you fucking see Kulik last night? He almost fucking killed your guy Kaluzzi, huh? he almost fucking tore his head off, huh? And I was like, I saw a little bit of it, coach. I don't know what was happening. He's like, Kulik, he fucking snapped. I was like, yeah, that's what he does, coach. That's Drake. Oh God.
Oh, that's one of the best stories I've ever heard. And I can't believe I'm not now just hearing it.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Hopefully that answers the question. Who asked it? Nate Lechtenberg. Hopefully that, and for everyone else wondering what the Kulik story was, that's the story, and it's fantastic. What, in your opinion, this is an interesting, I don't think it's not really a great question for us, but it does bring up an issue that I think is worth talking about. What, in your opinion, should be the optimal number of touches each of Iowa's playmakers should have in a normal game? And what is the best way to get those touches for the player's strength? Now,
the only thing that should be scripted is the amount of touches for the running back. Brian should have an idea of how many run plays he wants to run. And then from there, if he wants to have a dominant game on the ground, then he's probably planning on running the ball 50 times.
Yep. And
he's going to need a lot of backs.
Correct.
Right. Now, Brian's not the quarterback. He's not deciding where the ball gets thrown.
Exactly. So, for a specific answer on that question, we're not going to be able to sit here and say, well, we think Goodson should get 20 carries, Mackay gets 10, and Ivory Kelly Martin 5 to 10, and then here's what the receiver should have. It's hard to say. Better answer is we should have an idea that we want to run this many times. We want to pass this many times. In these situations, this is what we want to do here. It does bring up a question.
Like say, hey, I want to get Brendan a couple of long ball shots.
Right.
Here and there.
Yeah, we want to take 2 shots in these situations, right? It is really hard, especially with a ton of weapons like we have, to say each player needs this many touches, because a football game is not something that you can just predict like that. It's definitely in the flow, and yeah, but
you're not in the third quarter like, oh, Amir Smith-Marsette's only got the ball 4 times. We're behind schedule. We gotta get him the ball more.
Yeah, like or like we're up like 3 touchdowns, but Goodson only has 10 carries. We're like, we gotta fucking give this guy the ball 10 more times. We have to do it. It's just not that way. So, yeah. Do you guys, specifically Kevin, expect to see more 4-3 against Northwestern, given how run heavy they were in week 1 versus Maryland?
Good question. It's up to Phil. We started doing that, what we call cash, which is just taking out our outside linebacker, putting a DB in that spot.
Yep.
Against the spread teams, because it really is a DB spot when you're just playing in the slot all day long. And Northwestern just runs the spread religiously. So, I don't know. I don't know what he's planning on doing. I'm sure they're going to look at how how Barrington graded out and how whoever was playing the cash graded out. And
now, Kevin, you're telling me that Phil makes the decisions here, huh? Phil Parker.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the people on Twitter. I know that.
Now that's interesting. That's interesting because if you read Twitter, you would think otherwise.
No, I don't know. I'd imagine you see a little bit of both still. Northwestern is one of those spread teams that, although they're spread, they do like to establish the run a lot.
Yeah. So, this brings us to kind of our thoughts on how this game is going to go. And I have
What's
a lot
the
of
spread? What's the spread?
Hawks minus 2.5.
Hawks minus 2.5. Now, usually it would be Hawks by 1 million here. We're at home. We got something to prove. 2.5 point spread. It's Northwestern.
But
just not super confident.
If I was the handicapper, I would have made it 2.5 the other way.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
and this we're just not going to get into.
It's going to be a tight game. It always is.
Maybe it's our fault. Purdue proven that they've beat Iowa the past how many years? They've schemed up Iowa's defense how many years in a row? Our fault to think that it was going to change. Maybe Northwestern, same thing. They've had the card. I mean, as much as at the end of the season, you look at it, Northwestern's 7-5, 8-4, and Iowa's been 8-4, 9-3. It doesn't matter. Fitz has got the Hawks a couple times in the past. I mean, and he's done it in Kinnick. We experienced it. Shit. Didn't feel good.
Felt horrible. And my feeling about this team's trajectory is not good. So I don't like this game.
I am going to have a hard time betting on the Hawkeyes against the spread specifically until they show me 2 games in a row, which is probably where they can play clean football. Obviously, we're not even at 1 game in a row yet. So I am not betting the Hawks this week, but that brings us to, I believe, what button is it? What button do I push?
Over under is 46.5.
Kevin. Let the music do its thing, Kevin. Win, 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 no matter what. I don't think any of us are betting the Hawks or the Wildcats this weekend. We're just staying away from that game completely. I am.
Kev, it's your honors this week, bud.
Yeah, you're 4-0. You give us the ticket, man.
What do you got? Just before we go into 46.5 over under for the game. What do you think about that?
Ooh, 46.5. I like the Hawks to actually score more points. And if I think that it's going to be a close game, then that speaks to it being over 46.
I say under because every Northwestern Iowa game is low scoring.
You're right.
I'd take the under too. It's not going to be one of my picks, but I'll think about that just for the listeners. Whoever makes less mistakes is going to win that game anyway. Yeah. On to the picks. 4 for 4 last week.
4 for 4.
Above 500. We're making money.
Making money.
And you know what? Kevin tells us all the time when I question how much he works and all this shit. He says, the only thing he says, if I'm working, I'm making money. And that makes Kevin happy. So if Kevin's in a good mood, he's feeling it. So listen to these picks, people.
Okay. I got 3 college games. I told you last week, we're going Big Ten only from now out. I didn't like any of the Big Ten spreads this week. I stayed away from every fucking one of them.
Typical cream pie, man.
Oh, man. If you got any advice for you out there, fade Michigan State. They're dog shit. I got North Carolina -7 versus Virginia. North Carolina had a big game versus NC State this last week. Virginia, questionable. I think North Carolina's bouncing back pretty solid after that ugly Florida State loss 2 weeks ago. My favorite game, Nevada -13 versus UNLV. The Mountain West is back. Nevada returning 17 starters this year. Had a big win over Wyoming. And UNLV got rocked by San Diego State last week. So I like Nevada covering 13 versus.
Is this your lock?
Is this your lock? That's my lock of the week right there.
That's the lock, huh?
Third college game, I got Oklahoma State. Found it at -3. I think that spread's bumped up a little bit. Versus Texas. Oklahoma State's got a good defense.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure those
really
words in the English language. I'm not sure those words are allowed to go in simultaneous order.
Well, they played Iowa State last week. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, they played really well versus Iowa State, and Texas had a very weird game versus Baylor too. It was just, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was just a weird game. I'm not high on Texas anymore. So Oklahoma State -3. Those are my 3 college picks. Okay. Moving over to the NFL, I saw 5 picks I kind of really liked. I'm only going to give you 3 though.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers getting the 3 and the hook versus the Baltimore Ravens. I think
my guy stole that one from me.
-3, you said?
+3.5.
+3.5.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a tight game. The 3.5 is what doing it for me. I think Pittsburgh's better than people think. I don't think Baltimore's as good as people think.
I agree.
And I don't know why Kevin said 3.5 because I see it at 4.
Wow.
If you can get it at 4, get it at 4.
Yeah, Westgate's got it at 4, and I took it.
Good for you.
There you go, man. Get it at 4. Can I get it at 4, or do I have to get it at 3.5?
Probably 3.5. What's your next pick?
Okay, I got the Los Angeles Rams -3.5 at Miami. Tua making his first start versus Sam Darnold. Sorry, not Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold plays
Aaron
for the
Donald?
Jets.
Yeah,
I would bet against him
Donald. You could bet Tua versus Sam Darnold. Aaron Donald, the baddest man on the planet. He's going to have him in his face all day long. That's no way to start off a rookie year. I like Los Angeles covering 3.5 versus the Dolphins. They looked good last couple weeks, or not this last week versus the Bears. And then lastly, I got the Green Bay Packers -7 versus the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Rodgers has just been tearing up bad defenses, and Minnesota has a bad defense. So
correct. Now,
there's 6 picks for you.
So there's Kevin's 6 picks, and his lock is Nevada
-13.
-13. So that is Kevin's lock. Now, Drake, Kevin mentioned something there that Aaron Donald is the baddest man on the planet. And is that true, or is that Khabib Nurmagomedov?
You butchered that one, pal.
I don't know how to say his last name. Nurmagomedov?
Listen, man.
Put them both in a cage, see who comes out. It ain't going to be Khabib.
Khabib's the baddest dude on the planet between the
155
between the weight range of 155 and 170 pounds. After that,
it's John Bones Jones.
After that, John Bones Jones is really high up there. And then, I would assume that John Bones Jones probably decapitates Aaron Donald rather quickly. So leave it at Bones and from there.
But not in Oklahoma drill.
No.
That would be great. What are your picks this weekend, Drake?
So I got a little confused on the website, and I saw some lines that weren't actually the lines. Okay. But so I got the Pittsburgh -4. +4. And then, my fault, +4. And then Tampa Bay, I thought it was 8.5, but it's 10.5. But it's the Giants, and give me Tampa Bay -10.5. They'll probably beat them by like 35.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought New Orleans was -3, but it's -4.5. And I'll still take them against Chicago because Chicago can't score points, and I think New Orleans can. So I'll give me New Orleans -4.5, and then give me Tennessee -5.5 against Cincinnati. I just think that Tennessee's defense is going to be good enough to stop Cincinnati, and Tennessee's going to run all over them. So
I like that. Derrick Henry's just he's another species.
And Ryan Tannehill has been running that offense insanely well. So
yeah, low key,
proving he actually earned the contract that he got.
Yeah, Tannehill's a baller, dude.
He's making absolutely no mistakes, and he's finding the right receivers and stuff. Like that offense is running like a pretty well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and it helps when you have a creative player at running back too. That leaves me again, and you can tune out now. The podcast is over for those.
No, tune in and just fade Kluver. Pick the opposite.
Right, sure. Go against me. You at this point, if you just go against everything I say, you're
making money 66% of the time.
Correct. So here's my 2 picks. On the college side of things, I like Minnesota -20 against Maryland.
That's a lot of points, dude.
It's a lot of points.
Maryland did not have a good game.
Northwestern just beat Maryland by 40, almost. So, I think Minnesota has a little something to prove after they kind of got handled by the Wolverines. So, give me the Fighting PJ Flex by 20. Purdue is playing Illinois, and they're only minus a touchdown. I like Purdue. Especially with the confidence after, they got to win, beat Iowa. And I'll
Any word on Rondale Moore coming back at all?
I have not heard anything. Clearly, they don't need him. But if he is back, then hammer the Boilermakers against Illinois. And then my 2 picks in the NFL are going to be the Jets covered. They finally covered. I don't think they can do it 2 times in a row. I'm just betting against the odds. Give me Kansas City -19 or 19.5, depending on where you get it.
Why do you love the huge spreads, man?
Just because it's the Jets, bro.
He's a psycho for the points, but I love how he's really epitomizing our fade New York.
Dude,
and
I don't think they can cover 2 spreads in a row. They're 1 for 6 or 1 for 7. There's no way they do it twice in a row. And Kansas City, they didn't have like a huge offensive week, I don't think. Maybe they did. I think they'll crush. And then my second pick is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders plus.
Yeah, I was definitely going to pick against you there.
Against me.
Yeah. I was thinking the opposite way on the Raiders game.
You like Cleveland -2.5?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to take the Raiders. I just don't think that Cleveland, they're so streaky, right? They have a good game. They have a bad game. I saw this funny meme on Twitter about doubted, underdog mentality, play well, listen to the noise, play like shit, doubted. And it's just like a vicious circle. I think they're back to the play like shit part of that continuum. Okay. And I'm going to take Las Vegas +2.5. So Las Vegas and
Dog
KC.
pound stand up.
Yeah. We'll see.
Hey, let me leave you with this question, Kluve. Is Purdue's offense with Rondale Moore the most under the radar offense in the whole country? Because David Bell's really good. Their running back is kind of a beast. And Rondale Moore is one of the best players in the whole country.
So you bring Rondale Moore back. Here's what I'm thinking. I don't know if – so Xander Horvath, Thor from where's he from? Asgard. He is not their main running back. King Do-Roo is. Obviously, he's done more to win the job than this other kid, Xander, that played against the Hawks. If they can run the ball for 100 yards a game and do what they did with Bell, and then you add more into that, yeah, they're a top 5 offense. If they can consistently do that. Now, are they going to be, do they have the offensive line talent and the running back talent and just the offense in general to go do that in the Big Ten 7-8 games in a row? I don't know. But yes, they are offensively. They're going to be in probably shootouts with some teams this year.
I'm telling you what, man, that's an under the radar, super powerful offense.
I agree. We ran into it week 1 when it's not even refined. Ideally offenses find a little bit of a groove later in the season, mid-season, when you can get a few games under the belt. So who knows what that offense will be able to do, especially with Rondale Moore back at some point. That's this week's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Northwestern preview. Hoping the Hawks can get it done, but we shall see. Big questions to be answered in Iowa City. Kevin, Drake, Tyler, signing off.